Jake Paul lied to you. At least that's what half the world screamed after his high-stakes showdown with none other than the legendary Mike Tyson. 8 rounds, countless blows, and surprise, Jake Paul walked out victorious. But here's the kicker. Instead of celebrating, the internet exploded with millions of people accusing him of staging the whole fight. But why? What really went down in that ring? Why does everyone find it so hard to believe Jake's version of events? And what was it about this fight that sent shockwaves through millions, leaving a trail of confusion and outrage in its wake? On November 15th, 2024, Jake Paul faced Mike Tyson in a match that quite literally everyone was waiting for. But instead of the explosive fight fans had been promised and hoped for, what we got was a win for Jake Paul by, get this, unanimous decision, with scores of 80-72, 79-73, and 79-73. Jake didn't knock Tyson out. He apparently outboxed him, something most people didn't see coming. To be fair, this wasn't your standard fight. For one, the match lasted 8 rounds with 2-minute intervals, a bit shorter than usual. And instead of typical 10-ounce gloves, the fighters used 14-ounce gloves, which, as you can tell, were heavier than the typical heavyweight gloves. This was apparently all done for safety, considering Tyson's age and health, which honestly is fair. So sure, safety was the priority. But that didn't stop fans from wanting fireworks. And what they got was more of an exhibition than a fight for a title. It got so bad that many are now calling it a scripted fight. After all, Jake dominated without much drama. No big punches, no big knockouts. Just a calm performance that left many questioning what really went down. And when we say many, we mean many.
Land this jab right there that really knocked Jake back. I think that's his most effective punch of the round. But they would see, the right hand grazes Mike Tyson by Jake Paul. That would have been a good shot. Land a beautiful jab with right hand first. Right there, and knocked Mike off balance 2 times. And Mike was highly off balance right there. I don't like how his legs go. Jab, hook, right hand, followed by hook. The last hook was cool. Wasn't a real power shot.
See, this was a highly publicized match. In fact, AT&T Stadium was packed and even set a brand new record in attendance for sports events in the entire United States. People were there for the spectacle, and those who couldn't come stayed glued to their screens as the fight was streamed on Netflix. And surprise, surprise, it set revenue records there too. And that's because this fight was about much more than the boxing. It was Mike Tyson, the legend, against Jake Paul, the influencer. It was a clash of generations that made waves far beyond the ring. The fight wasn't just about who won, it was about how it changed the game. Everyone had their champion and expected to watch the ring crumble. But after the performance, many took to the internet almost immediately with anger and dissatisfaction. One ex-user said, "Iron Mike really took a hit, but we already know the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight was scripted." Another said, "Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was 100% staged." Always watch for subtle cues, like Tyson biting his gloves or Paul sticking out his tongue. That's how they communicate. There was even a poll where 90% of the people voted that the match was scripted. But why is everyone so sure it was scripted? I mean, is Jake that bad a fighter? Well, for one, this isn't actually the first time Jake is being accused of scripting a fight. See, Jake Paul's boxing career has been a whirlwind of controversy and skepticism from the very beginning. In fact, since he started boxing, critics quickly started questioning the authenticity of his fights, and the accusations have followed him like a shadow. One such occasion was his fight with the notorious Anderson Silva.
There's a left hand from Silva, 2. If there is, in fact, Silva moved the referee out of the way. Another right hand. Action round with a close round.
See, after his fight, UFC fighter Paddy Pimblett quickly blew the whistle and sparked rumors, suggesting Silva might have taken a dive. As you would expect, Jake was quick to deny it, calling out anyone who doubted Silva's integrity. But sadly for him, the whispers of rigged fights kept growing louder. And as if that wasn't bad enough, then came the Tommy Fury showdown, where things took an even more bizarre turn.
Meaning it's not hard to find the other man. Overhand right over the top. Jake Paul using his jab. As we near a right hand to the body by Paul. Back comes Tommy Fury, left hook. Fury opening up towards the...
See, just before the match, a supposed script surfaced online, claiming Jake would knock out Fury in the 8th round. Fans went wild, speculating about a predetermined outcome and a rigged match. But when Jake lost the match by split decision, everyone was confused. However, despite promoters dismissing the script as a hoax, the damage was done, and the leak added a whole new layer of skepticism to Jake's career. Hold on to this, though, because there was also a leak in the Tyson fight, and we'll get to that soon. Back to the Tommy fight. Jake's manager, Nakisa Badarian, didn't take the accusations lying down. He called the claims dumb, defending the legitimacy of the fights, but no matter how many times they deny it, the question remained: how much of Jake Paul's boxing career is real? And how much is just for show? To many, the answer is clear. All of it was for show, and to make matters worse, the Tyson fight added fuel to the theory as it too had a leaked script. See, leading up to the bout, a mysterious fight script was leaked online, and everyone was mad. The document supposedly outlined the entire match, even including a knockout victory for Jake Paul in the 8th round. As you would expect, this raised eyebrows across the boxing world, with fans and critics speculating that the entire fight was already planned in advance. The idea that such a high-profile event could be scripted felt almost too wild to be true. However, he thinks it's a weird turn once again because when the fight actually happened, it didn't exactly match the predictions. Jake Paul didn't secure the knockout. Instead, the match went the distance, and Tyson, despite being 58 years old, held his ground much better than some had expected. Of course, Jake ended up winning, but the victory raised even more suspicion. Critics pointed out how Jake seemed to hold back at moments when he could have pushed for a knockout, especially given Tyson's age and slower pace. Essentially, they figured that Jake changed the outcome last minute or leaked the script to create hype. Adding fuel to an already hot case, Jake's post-fight comments only fueled the fire. He actually admitted that he had held back to avoid hurting Tyson, which seemed strange to many, especially when considering how much hype had surrounded the event. Was Jake playing it safe? Or was the fight just part of a bigger, orchestrated spectacle? We can't really say. But despite denials from both Jake and his manager that the fight was scripted, the leaked document and Jake's odd behavior afterward left many wondering if there was more to the story than met the eye. And there was. Another thing that caught everyone was the fight itself, because it gave fans plenty of reasons to raise their eyebrows, with moments that felt more like a performance than a genuine boxing match. I mean, Mike Tyson is known for his ferocious and relentless style, but in this fight he seemed unusually restrained throughout the bout. In fact, fans who watched the bout pointed to multiple moments where Tyson had prime opportunities to deliver his signature power punches, but inexplicably held back. One of those instances that stood out was when Tyson deflected a punch off his shoulder, finding himself perfectly positioned for a devastating counter right hand. But instead of unleashing the expected blow, he hesitated and did nothing. For a man whose career was built on raw aggression, this uncharacteristic passivity left fans scratching their heads. Jake Paul, on the other hand, seemed to play into the spectacle. In fact, after taking hits from Tyson, he repeatedly taunted the boxing legend, sticking out his tongue and gesturing playfully. Rather than coming across as confident, this behavior felt oddly theatrical, as though Paul was performing for an audience rather than engaging in a serious fight. The worst part was that it contrasted sharply with Tyson's measured and controlled demeanor and ended up just fueling suspicions that their exchanges might have been choreographed. And the oddities didn't end there, because Tyson was even seen biting his glove during the fight, a peculiar move interpreted by some as a tactic to rein in his aggression. It gave the impression that he was consciously holding himself back, possibly to let Paul set the pace. Moments like these made many fans question whether they were watching an actual contest or an elaborate show designed to entertain rather than compete. But why would Mike willingly lose? He's Iron Mike, one of the greatest to do it. What could have made him sell a match? Well, many fans believe this fight was all about the money honey and a little sprinkle of redemption. So here's the tea. Mike Tyson, the man, the myth, the legend who once ruled the ring like a king, was back in the headlines for a while. And this time, it wasn't for his knockouts, but for what was knocking into his bank account. I mean, we can blame you if you were wondering, why would Iron Mike even bother stepping into the ring with Jake Paul? After all, Tyson wasn't just big in boxing, he was the biggest. At the height of his career, this man was worth a jaw-dropping $300 million. Yep, you heard that right, million. But fast forward to the early 2000s, and Tyson was singing a very different tune. One filled with bankruptcy filings and $27 million in debts. Private jets, mansions, tigers, yes, tigers, and some questionable spending decisions sadly drained his fortune faster than you can say KO. Now, let's bring it back to the present. Tyson's been on the comeback trail in recent years, and that's thanks to his thriving cannabis empire, endorsements, and podcast gigs, all of which have rebuilt his net worth to around $10 million. Respectable, sure, but nowhere near the glory days. Then Jake Paul came. The fight with the YouTuber turned boxer was more than just a spectacle. It was a jackpot for Tyson. Reports suggest he made at least $15 million from the bout. To put that in perspective, this one event doubled his net worth overnight. That's right, Tyson went from a $10 million man to swimming in $25 million waters. And let's not forget the ripple effect on his brand. The buzz alone would have reinvigorated his relevance in pop culture, opening up more lucrative opportunities. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. Tyson's not new to bouncing back from rock bottom. In fact, after his financial fall, he's been candid about the emotional toll poverty took on him. In interviews, he's spoken about feeling like a failure and how money was a constant stressor, even when he was swimming in it. This fight, as controversial as it may seem, wasn't just about the payday. It was a power move, a reminder that Tyson knows how to play the game. And let's face it, in today's world of social media and spectacle-driven boxing, the game has changed. By stepping into the ring with Jake Paul, Tyson not only secured his financial future, but also solidified his legacy as a fighter who knows how to evolve. Sure, some purists might roll their eyes, but you can't deny the man's hustle. He turned a risky match into a multi-million-dollar payday, proving once again why they call him Iron Mike. In the end, whether you love it, hate it, or secretly binge-watch the highlights, you have to respect the grind. Tyson's journey from riches to rags and back to riches is the stuff of legend. And who knows, maybe the next chapter in his story will be even more lucrative. After all, with Tyson, you never know what's coming next. So, what do you think? Was this match just another scripted spectacle? Or did Tyson take the L because of age catching up and Jake's strategic moves in the ring? We're dying to know your thoughts. So light up that comment section below and let us know who really won this fight. Loved this roller coaster ride through the wild ups and downs of Iron Mike's journey? Then don't stop now. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another juicy breakdown of the biggest stories in fame, fortune, and everything in between. Until next time, remember, life's twists and turns don't discriminate. Whether you're on the ropes or making a comeback, the next round is yours to fight for.